As the holiday season descends upon us, the hustle and bustle of shoppers fills the air. Streets are adorned with twinkling lights, storefronts display their wares, and the promise of joy and merriment hangs thick in the crisp winter air. In the heart of it all stands Target, a retail giant synonymous with quality, convenience, and savings. But beneath the facade of holiday cheer lies a dark shadow, a nightmare waiting to unfold. Target, like many retailers, experiences a surge in foot traffic during the holiday season. Shoppers flock to its stores in droves, eager to snag the best deals on gifts for their loved ones. The aisles are packed with eager consumers, the checkout lines stretch endlessly, and the sound of ringing cash registers fills the air. It's a frenetic energy, a palpable sense of urgency that permeates every corner of the store. And amidst this chaos, a sinister threat lurks, poised to strike when least expected. And then, it happens. A breach. A crack in the armor of Target's digital fortress. Cybercriminals, lurking in the shadows of the internet, exploit a vulnerability in the retailer's security systems. Personal information, credit card details, and sensitive data of millions of unsuspecting shoppers are now in the hands of malicious actors. The holiday rush turns into a nightmare, a harrowing ordeal for those who entrusted their information to Target's care. The joy of the season is shattered, replaced by fear, anger, and uncertainty. This is the story of Target's fatal breach, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurk in the digital age. As we delve deeper into the events that transpired during that fateful holiday season, we will uncover the chain of events that led to this catastrophic breach. We will explore the impact on Target, its customers, and the retail industry as a whole. Join us on this journey through the dark underbelly of holiday shopping, where the promise of savings and convenience can quickly turn into a nightmare of epic proportions. Welcome to Target's fatal breach, a holiday shopping nightmare. As the holiday shopping season approached, Target, the retail giant, was gearing up for what they hoped would be a record-breaking sales period. But little did they know, lurking in the shadows of their digital infrastructure, a sinister threat was slowly taking shape. It started with a seemingly innocuous email, a Trojan horse disguised as a routine message from a trusted vendor. Unbeknownst to Target's cybersecurity team, this email contained the seeds of chaos, a sophisticated malware that would soon unleash havoc on the company's systems. Narration: weeks passed, and the malware lay dormant, silently spreading its tendrils throughout Target's network. Unassuming employees went about their daily tasks, unaware of the impending storm that was about to hit. And then, like a thief in the night, the malware sprang into action. It began siphoning off sensitive customer data, credit card information, addresses, phone numbers, all flowing out of Target's servers like a digital river of stolen identities. Panic set in as Target's cybersecurity team scrambled to contain the breach, but it was already too late. The damage had been done, and the fallout would be catastrophic. Narration: news of the breach sent shockwaves through the industry and struck fear into the hearts of millions of Target customers. The once beloved retailer was now synonymous with cyber vulnerability, a cautionary tale of what happens when cybersecurity is taken for granted. As the dust settled and Target began the arduous process of rebuilding trust with its customers, one thing became painfully clear: the breach had not only exposed Target's flaws but also highlighted the ever-present threat of cyber attacks in our increasingly digital world. And as the holiday season approached, one question lingered in the minds of consumers everywhere: who would be the next victim of a cybersecurity nightmare? As the holiday season approached, the world was about to witness a nightmare unfold. The dark web, a shadowy underworld where anonymity reigns and illegal activities thrive, became the battleground for stolen Target customer data. The breach that shook the retail giant to its core was now being exploited by cybercriminals looking to profit from the chaos. The eerie glow of computer screens illuminated faces hidden in the shadows, as hackers and data brokers huddled over their keyboards, trading in stolen information. Names, addresses, credit card numbers, all up for grabs to the highest bidder. The once secure details of millions of unsuspecting shoppers were now being auctioned off like commodities in a digital black market. But amidst the chaos and greed, a glimmer of hope emerged. Cybersecurity experts, armed with cutting-edge technology and unwavering determination, embarked on a mission to infiltrate the dark web. Their goal? to track down the perpetrators behind the Target breach and put an end to the illicit trade of stolen data. As they delved deeper into the murky depths of the internet, each keystroke brought them closer to uncovering the truth behind the holiday shopping nightmare. The tension in the air was palpable as the cyber warriors navigated through a maze of encrypted servers and hidden forums, racing against time to prevent further harm. Every click of the mouse echoed like a drumbeat, signaling their relentless pursuit of justice in the face of adversity. And as they finally zeroed in on their target, a sense of triumph mingled with the heavy weight of responsibility. The dark web had revealed its secrets, but the battle was far from over. As the dust settles from Target's catastrophic data breach, the real impact is felt not in numbers or figures, but in the lives of everyday people. The unsuspecting customers who thought they were simply swiping their credit cards to purchase gifts for loved ones during the holiday season now find themselves thrust into a nightmare of identity theft and financial ruin. Their stories are a stark reminder of the human toll of cybercrime, where faceless hackers wreak havoc on the lives of innocent individuals with a few keystrokes and lines of malicious code. The interviews with these affected Target shoppers paint a chilling picture of the aftermath of the breach. Tales of drained bank accounts, maxed-out credit cards, and hours spent on the phone with financial institutions trying to undo the damage inflicted by cybercriminals. The sheer helplessness and frustration in their voices are palpable, a stark contrast to the festive cheer that once filled the air during the holiday season. The fallout of their stolen information extends far beyond mere inconvenience. It cuts deep into the fabric of their sense of security and trust in the systems meant to protect them. But amidst the despair and turmoil, there is a glimmer of hope. These brave individuals refuse to be victims, choosing instead to fight back against the forces that sought to destroy their lives. They are united in their resolve to not let fear dictate their actions, to reclaim their sense of agency in the face of overwhelming adversity. Their resilience in the face of such adversity serves as a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found. This chapter serves as a poignant reminder that behind every data breach headline is a human story, one that deserves to be heard and understood. As the dust settled from Target's devastating data breach, the hunt for the perpetrators was just beginning. The forensic investigation team, comprised of top cybersecurity experts and law enforcement officials, descended upon the scene like a swarm of bees, meticulously combing through every digital breadcrumb left behind by the hackers. Their mission was clear: to unravel the complex web of code, malware, and deception that had brought one of the nation's largest retailers to its knees. But this was no ordinary cybercrime investigation. The stakes were higher than ever before. The breach had occurred during the peak holiday shopping season, leaving millions of customers vulnerable to identity theft and fraud. The pressure was on to not only identify the culprits but also to ensure that such a catastrophic breach never happened again. With the clock ticking and the world watching, the team worked tirelessly, fueled by a sense of urgency and determination that bordered on obsession. Every line of code, every server log, every email communication was scrutinized with a fine-tooth comb. The digital trail left by the hackers was elusive, a twisted maze of false leads and dead ends. But the investigators pressed on, undeterred by the daunting task before them. They knew that the key to cracking the case lay in their ability to think like the hackers, to anticipate their next move, to outsmart them at their own game. And as they delved deeper into the dark underbelly of the cybercriminal world, they uncovered shocking revelations that would send shockwaves through the industry. The investigation was a rollercoaster of highs and lows, breakthroughs and setbacks. But through it all, the team remained steadfast in their pursuit of justice. And as they closed in on the perpetrators, their efforts bore fruit. The hackers were unmasked, their digital identities laid bare for the world to see. And as the authorities moved in to apprehend them, a sense of closure washed over the team. The nightmare was finally over, but the scars left by the breach would linger for years to come. As the dust settled once more, Target emerged from the ashes, stronger and more resilient than ever before, a beacon of hope in the ever-evolving battle against cybercrime. As the world watched in shock and disbelief, the cyber attack on Target unfolded like a real-life thriller. But behind the scenes, hidden in the shadows of the digital realm, lurked a mastermind orchestrating the chaos. The identities of the perpetrators remained shrouded in mystery, leaving a trail of confusion and fear in their wake. Who was behind this audacious breach that shook the foundation of one of the nation's largest retailers? With each passing day, the cyber sleuths delved deeper into the intricate web of code and deception, following digital breadcrumbs that led them closer to the elusive figure at the heart of the attack. The stakes were high, the pressure intense, as they worked tirelessly to unmask the enigma that had wreaked havoc on Target's security systems. And then, like a bolt of lightning in the darkness, the mastermind revealed themselves, sending shockwaves through the cybersecurity community. The revelation sent tremors through the industry, sending a chilling message to businesses and consumers alike. The mastermind behind the Target breach was none other than a skilled hacker known only by the alias Dark Cipher. Their motives remained unclear, their methods insidious, but one thing was certain: their actions had far-reaching consequences that would echo for years to come. The world now knew the face of the enemy, but the question remained: what other threats lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike? The hunt for cybercriminals had only just begun. As the dust settled after the catastrophic data breach that shook Target to its core, the legal ramifications began to unfold like a dark cloud looming over the retail giant. The breach, which exposed the personal information of millions of customers, not only caused irreparable harm to Target's reputation but also raised serious questions about the company's cybersecurity measures and compliance with data protection laws. With government agencies and cybersecurity experts scrutinizing every move, Target found itself in the midst of a legal storm unlike any other. Narration: the fallout from the breach was swift and unforgiving, with class action lawsuits piling up faster than Target could keep track. Customers whose personal data had been compromised were demanding justice, and the courts were eager to deliver it. Target faced allegations of negligence, failure to protect sensitive information, and violations of consumer privacy laws. The legal battle that ensued would test the company's resilience and put its future on the line. As the world watched, the fate of Target hung in the balance, with the weight of legal consequences bearing down on its every move. Narration: but the story didn't end there. As investigators delved deeper into the breach, they uncovered a web of cybercriminal activity that stretched far beyond Target's walls. The perpetrators, a sophisticated group of hackers operating in the shadows of the dark web, had orchestrated the attack with precision and cunning. As law enforcement agencies raced to track down the culprits, the legal implications grew more complex and far-reaching. The battle between Target and the cybercriminals had only just begun, and the outcome would have far-reaching consequences for the future of cybersecurity and data protection. In the end, only time would tell who would emerge victorious in this high-stakes game of cat and mouse. As the dust settled from the catastrophic data breach that shook Target to its core, the fallout continued to reverberate through the company and beyond. The breach, which had compromised the personal information of millions of customers during the busy holiday shopping season, left a trail of devastation in its wake. The once beloved retail giant now found itself in the midst of a public relations nightmare, with its reputation tarnished and consumer trust shattered. The aftermath of the breach was far from over, as Target faced a long and arduous road to redemption. The repercussions of the breach were swift and severe, with Target facing a barrage of lawsuits, regulatory scrutiny, and financial losses. The company's stock price plummeted in the wake of the breach, erasing billions of dollars in market value. Customers were outraged and demanded answers, while lawmakers called for investigations into how such a massive breach could have occurred. Target's CEO found himself in the hot seat, facing tough questions about the company's security practices and how it planned to prevent future breaches. The fallout from the breach was far-reaching, affecting not only Target but the entire retail industry as companies scrambled to shore up their own cybersecurity defenses. Despite Target's efforts to contain the damage and rebuild consumer trust, the fallout from the breach continued to haunt the company for years to come. Sales suffered as customers turned to competitors in search of safer shopping options, and the company's once loyal customer base began to dwindle. Target's reputation took a hit, with many questioning whether the company could ever fully recover from the breach. The fallout from the breach served as a cautionary tale for companies across industries, highlighting the importance of robust cybersecurity measures and the devastating consequences of failing to protect customer data. As Target grappled with the aftermath of the breach, the company faced a long and difficult road ahead. Rebuilding consumer trust would require more than just words; it would demand concrete actions and a commitment to prioritizing cybersecurity above all else. The fallout from the breach served as a stark reminder of the high stakes involved in safeguarding customer data in an increasingly digital world. Target's fatal breach was a wake-up call for companies everywhere, underscoring the need for constant vigilance and a proactive approach to cybersecurity. The fallout from the breach would leave a lasting impact on Target and the retail industry as a whole, serving as a cautionary tale for years to come. As we delve into the aftermath of the catastrophic breach that shook the retail giant Target to its core, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the lessons learned from this cyber nightmare are invaluable. The holiday season turned into a time of chaos and despair for millions of customers as their personal and financial information fell prey to malicious hackers. The repercussions were far-reaching, not only for Target but for the entire cybersecurity landscape. The breach served as a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that exist in our increasingly digitized world. The first lesson that emerged from the Target breach was the critical importance of proactive cybersecurity measures. It became painfully evident that reactive approaches were simply not enough to combat the sophisticated tactics employed by cybercriminals. Companies had to shift their mindset from simply responding to breaches after the fact to actively preventing them in the first place. This meant investing in robust security protocols, staying up to date with the latest threat intelligence, and conducting regular security audits to identify and patch vulnerabilities before they could be exploited. The cost of prevention may be high, but the cost of a breach, as Target discovered, is immeasurably higher. Another crucial lesson learned from the Target breach was the need for greater transparency and communication in the wake of a cyber incident. Target faced intense scrutiny and backlash for its perceived lack of transparency in the early stages of the breach. Customers felt betrayed and abandoned, left in the dark about the extent of the damage and what steps were being taken to rectify the situation. This lack of communication only served to erode trust and further damage Target's reputation. Moving forward, companies were forced to re-evaluate their crisis communication strategies, emphasizing the importance of timely, honest, and clear communication with all stakeholders in the event of a breach. Trust, once lost, is not easily regained. In conclusion, the lessons learned from the Target breach are a stark reminder of the high stakes involved in the digital age. Cybersecurity is no longer a luxury but a necessity, a fundamental pillar of any successful business operation. The fallout from the breach was a harsh wake-up call, a sobering reminder that no company, regardless of size or industry, is immune to the ever-evolving threats posed by cybercriminals. The key takeaway from this chapter is clear: the lessons learned from Target's fatal breach must serve as a cautionary tale for all organizations, motivating them to prioritize cybersecurity, invest in proactive defense measures, and foster a culture of transparency and communication to safeguard against future cyber threats. In the wake of Target's catastrophic data breach, retailers across the globe found themselves facing a chilling reality: no company is safe from the threat of cyber attacks. As the holiday shopping season approached, the specter of a repeat attack loomed large, sending shockwaves through the industry. But amidst the chaos and fear, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of renewed focus on cybersecurity measures. The battle against cyber threats had begun, and companies were determined to learn from Target's mistakes and fortify their defenses. Narration: with the stakes higher than ever, retailers invested heavily in state-of-the-art security systems, employing advanced encryption techniques and cutting-edge software to safeguard customer data. The once overlooked realm of cybersecurity became a top priority, with companies enlisting the expertise of ethical hackers and security specialists to identify vulnerabilities and shore up weaknesses in their networks. Every line of code, every firewall, every access point was scrutinized and fortified in a relentless pursuit of impenetrable security. Narration: as the holiday season arrived, a tense calm settled over the retail landscape. The memories of Target's breach still fresh in their minds, companies stood on high alert, ready to repel any would-be attackers. The battle against cyber threats was far from over, but a newfound sense of vigilance and preparedness had taken root. The lessons learned from Target's nightmare had been etched into the collective consciousness of the industry, serving as a stark reminder of the ever-present danger of cyber attacks. And as the holiday shopping frenzy reached its peak, retailers stood united in their resolve to prevent future breaches and protect their customers at all costs. As the dust settles on the aftermath of Target's fatal breach, the true extent of the damage becomes painfully clear. Behind the cold, hard numbers and data breaches lies a deeply human story of heartbreak and despair. The emotional toll on both customers and employees affected by the breach is immeasurable, leaving scars that may never fully heal. The customers, once loyal and trusting, now find themselves betrayed and violated. Their personal information, once guarded with care, now exposed to the dark corners of the internet. The fear and uncertainty that grip their hearts are palpable, as they wonder who now holds the keys to their identity. The sense of violation is overwhelming as they grapple with the knowledge that their most intimate details may be in the hands of faceless cybercriminals. But it is not just the customers who suffer in the wake of this breach. The employees of Target, who work tirelessly to ensure a seamless shopping experience, now find themselves thrust into a nightmare they never could have imagined. The guilt and shame they feel weigh heavily on their shoulders as they question whether they could have done more to prevent this catastrophe. The trust they once had in their own company is shattered, replaced by a deep sense of betrayal and disillusionment. The human cost of Target's fatal breach is incalculable. Lives have been upended, trust has been shattered, and a sense of security has been irreparably damaged. As we delve deeper into the personal stories of those affected, we begin to understand the true devastation that can be wrought by a single act of cybercrime. And as we bear witness to the tears, the anger, and the despair, we are reminded that behind every data breach, there are real people whose lives will never be the same. As we come to the conclusion of this harrowing journey into the heart of Target's fatal breach, it's impossible not to feel the weight of the impact this event has had on the world of cybersecurity and retail as a whole. The holiday nightmare that unfolded in 2013 continues to serve as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that exist in our digital age. The breach at Target was not just a simple hack, it was a wake-up call to the entire industry, a call to arms to strengthen defenses, protect customer data, and prioritize cybersecurity in ways never before seen. The aftermath of the breach saw Target facing a tidal wave of lawsuits, regulatory fines, and a loss of consumer trust that would take years to rebuild. The ripple effects of this breach were felt far and wide, with other retailers scrambling to fortify their own security measures to prevent a similar fate. The once gold standard of big box retail had been tarnished, and the scars of this breach would forever leave a mark on the industry. But amidst the chaos and fallout, there were lessons to be learned, innovations to be made, and a renewed commitment to cybersecurity that would shape the future of retail in profound ways. As we reflect on the events that transpired during that fateful holiday season, we are reminded of the fragility of the digital world we live in. The Target breach was not just a data breach, it was a breach of trust, a breach of security, and a breach of the very fabric of our interconnected society. It serves as a cautionary tale for businesses and consumers alike, a reminder that vigilance, preparedness, and a relentless pursuit of security must always be at the forefront of our minds. So, as we close this chapter on the Target breach, let us not forget the lessons learned, the wounds healed, and the resilience that emerged from the ashes of this holiday nightmare. And let us move forward with a renewed sense of determination to protect what matters most in this ever-evolving digital landscape.